All right, I got with me the creator of TapScan Collectibles, a super new, innovative, I think it's an amazing product, man. So I'm very excited to talk about that with you today, AJ. Thanks for coming on the channel, man.
No, I appreciate you having me on.
So what is TapScan? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so TapScan's basically a card frame. It's we 3D print card frames. And what I did was when we started ripping UFC, my son always asked like, "Hey, who's that? Like, does he have good fights? What kind of fighter was he?" And what's the first thing you do is you go on YouTube and you end up pulling up a clip or a good highlight and you show him. And I kind of had the idea while I was making some keychains for my barber. I was putting some NFC tags in some keychains so that he could give them out to customers and they could just tap to make an appointment. And it just kind of clicked together like, well, why couldn't I just have it pull up the highlight?
Right.
Hey, who is Alex Pereira? And then you just show them the most recent knockout or whatever that is. And so that's kind of what it came to be. And I've had some design changes, and then we went to fully modular. Um, and then I decided that when I had them on the wall, the biggest problem I had was I like mags for a lot of my stuff,
Yep.
but I also have a lot of top loaders. What happens when you try to put them on the wall together? They're never the same size. They don't line up. They're different heights, lengths, widths. So I ended up making them fit so you can have top loaders, mags, or slabs.
All right, so you mentioned a couple of different things there, and it made me think of one, your badass website, dude. Great job on designing it. I know you're kind of learning on the fly
Thank
with
you.
all of this, but I think
Very much so.
but I think it turned out really good. And you actually have like different products that people can get, and they're basically three different things, right? You have the mag that you were talking about. You have
Right?
the top loader, which is pretty sick. And you actually sent me some of these. I was kind of checking them out. They're really cool. And you also have the PSA graded slab. And you
Right.
also have three different like finishes for these products. Do you want to kind of showcase the products side by side that you have in front of you and kind of just tell people
Yeah.
the differences between them? And then also, I want to see that tap scan, dude. We got to see that in action.
So here we've got
Oh, you
a
picked up one
mag.
of the you picked up one of those Josh Vans from
I
Champion.
actually I just traded on one of the Facebook groups for this.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I honestly don't actually. It was funny. I think I traded for some TapScan frames. So basically, this is our mag frame, and it's actually not a good representation because this is the old style. So what I did was the problem with that style, and this is kind of I'll show you the assembly of how they go together. So here's your top loader. Obviously, your surface is a little more raised to keep it the same height as the mag. So it's when it's in there, it's the same width away from the wall.
Okay.
The mags, the way I used to have them was this. So basically, it was all one piece, and you'd slide your mag in here, and it's got little retaining walls so it doesn't wiggle or fall out. The problem with that is once it's on the wall, to take the card out, you have to take the whole frame off.
Mm.
Whereas now, what I did was so now the mags, instead of having to do the slide in, now you can just pop the face off just like the other one, and you can switch out your card if you want.
Okay, nice.
But
Yeah, so instead of
so
having to
that's
take it all the way off the wall, it's kind of
to
just a
slide
face
the card
removal and
out
pull.
because basically once you get to this point and you start stacking, the only
Right.
way to take that van card out would be to take it off the wall, slide it out. So now you can switch out any cards you want anytime you want and not have to mess up your actual alignment of frames or re-stick anything or anything like that. So that's
Okay,
our
man.
carbon. We've got the geometric, and then we've got a flat black, which I don't think I have anything on here, but it's literally just like a picture frame, which I've sold a lot less of the regular flat black over the geometric and carbon. People seem to really like the designs.
Right. Yeah, I think my favorite is for like clean aesthetic, I think I really like the carbon, but if I want some pop, I like that geometric one. That one's really nice.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Also, you're doing all this like by yourself, and I want to
Oops, sorry.
we'll screen share on the Instagram here and kind of show the setup. So do you want to talk us through like what all you're doing, where you're doing it, and kind of how you're manufacturing these things?
Yeah, so basically it started off as we just didn't have a really good way to display our cards and our PCs. My son has a nice sugar collection going. My wife has the Diego collection, and we don't have a lot of bookshelves or shelf space to like put them in normal stands. So we started looking at what kind of like wall mounts do we have? Not much out there. The things that were out there were just like those kind of the grid ones where they come in like it's like a skeleton frame, and the
Right.
card just sits in there, and it looks like you stuck the card on the wall with a piece of tape. Um, and then I found some 3D printed stuff on some websites, and I was like, well, they're pretty cool. So I ended up ordering a 3D printer just for our personal stuff, and then as I was printing, had that idea and said, wait a minute, this has to be a thing out there, and it wasn't. And I'm a huge UFC fan, and I think, like you said, I think the this sport specifically, it makes it very easy to kind of personalize. Well, what's your favorite highlight for this fighter? Where do you want to go? And then a big thing that I've kind of fallen into as I'm going through it is comp values.
Yeah.
How long does it take you to look up your comps at a show? 45 seconds, a minute each card, and then half the time when you take the picture it scans wrong, it gives you 20 variants, you still got to
Right.
sit there and sift through them. Well, what if you just had to comp it once? Find your card when you get it, attach it to the frame. I personally use card ladder, and
Yep.
then every
Same.
time you scan that frame it'll bring it to card ladder on that card that you've already locked in, so
Yeah.
it's an instant comp.
So cool, man. Okay, so I'm gonna pull up this video, and you can kind of talk us through the process and all that. But this, I mean, this is the magic, right? This is the magic of this product, that you're able to scan, and then it kind of just pulls up whatever link you want. It's so cool, and there's so many different options. So, what are some different options that you have?
So basically, you can do anything with a URL. So like there, I just found Suga's UFC profile for his fighter profile. We linked that. You can put social media. I've had some people ask if we can do their TikTok pages, their YouTube pages. You can. I haven't played with it yet, but I believe if you go on UFC, if you have Fight Pass, I think you can actually take the URL on the desktop version and you'd be able to link it if for to a whole specific fight if it's on Fight Pass.
That's
I
crazy,
haven't
man.
had it yet, but you should be able to do it. Basically, anything with a URL that'll link. The plan is to build out an app where we either partner with the UFC, NFL, whoever, and we have some kind of interface that either you can go to most recent highlight, or like more updated stats or something like that. Um, Down in the very, very far future, potentially like an AR, like an
Oh
augmented
wow.
reality, that card that you scan, if we work with
Uh,
Tops, something like that, where your one of one also has a custom message from that fighter to go along with it for pulling that card, which I actually, that was my proof of concept video. I don't know
yeah.
if you've seen that one,
No,
the
I
Chael
haven't.
Sonnen.
No, I
Oh,
haven't. But
perfect.
that's pretty sick.
Well, here, let's do this. All right. Here's what the original idea always was.
First off, congratulations. Drawing the greatest and most sought after card in the history of collections. Mine. But the bad guy doesn't belong in a box or in a binder. You're going to want to put that card somewhere that people can see, like a monument, like a statue, like the Mona Lisa. Share it with the world. And congratulations on having the likeness of Chael Sonnen anytime you wish to look.
Oh my
So,
goodness, dude. What the bad guy, dude. What a great promo from Chael. And how cool is that, people, viewers at home, people watching? How cool is that to be able to bring your buddy over, right? Scan that. Wait, also, question before we do that. This technology, I have my buddy come over, right? I want to show this off. I'm gonna say I'm
He
not gonna
doesn't
say
need
anything.
anything special.
I'm gonna say,
Doesn't
hey,
need
get
anything
your
special.
phone and put your phone right here. He's gonna
Yep.
do that, and then I can program whatever I want. I want to flex how much this card's worth. Card
Yep.
ladder. I want to show.
Or
I did a highlight with Leon Edwards. I did like a head kick, the Usman highlight, one of my favorite finishes and fights of all time. Earlier I was playing with it. I had that on my Leon card. There's so many cool options, man, and this really just takes your collection and you can personalize it so much more. I really just love the idea of this.
So for Weston Wilson, he's actually on the hunt for his one of one for his rookie card. I met up with him a few weeks ago, and what he wants to do is he's actually got a video of him signing that one of one.
Yeah,
That it was his first signature. So when
so
he
cool.
finds it, he wants to put it in a frame, and I gave him a couple other ones for his other rainbow. But yeah, so even if you have video of you ripping the pack, and you like that
Yep.
trail card, we unfortunately didn't rip that one on camera. But that would have been something that I would have put, and I could do an edit of not only just the pack rip and like the pure excitement of that moment, and then followed up with a message from the athlete. It's just really cool, and you can do a lot of unique things with the custom. I call it more the collectible side of the frames. With UFC collectibles, something like that, you could do these. They're perfect for Tops Now cards.
Yep.
That's kind of instantly where my mind jumped when I came up with the idea. And I've actually got a few over here already programmed up ready for you if you want
Yep.
to kind of see
Let's
what,
do
what
it.
I do with those. So the Tops Now, obviously, the biggest part of what I made TapScan for was kind of the history, right? Like what does this card mean? Where did it come from? Why is it even important to you, right? And for UFC, it's always what's in that card. Usually the fight cards are instead of like the still like the portraits, like these ones. The fight cards are way more, I think, historic because they actually happened in the octagon.
Yeah.
So something like Tops Now, where it's capturing a historic moment usually, or something very important for that athlete, just makes it super cool. So with Max's this fight, obviously the Dustin Max 3, we'll pull up some highlights, but you can take it and then Dustin, same top now, same event,
Oh wow.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. This
Now
is a
that's a
powerful
huge
one.
moment,
Yep.
right?
Powerful.
So there was a lot of different clips, and I didn't have time. So what I do is I like to kind of edit my own customs, and there's a few of them on the TapScan YouTube if you go and watch them that I've
Yeah.
done
That.
for some customers.
Yeah, that's where my mind went too, is that I can actually, I mean, in this kind of niche, right? Like, not everybody is a video creator, but like, I could program
Right.
a specific, whatever I want, I could create that and then put
Yep.
that in a URL and then have that right there. So it's really an interesting concept. And you can do it for athletes and stuff, but you can also do it for other things, which we're going to talk about here in a second.
So here, I'll do this one real quick, and then with custom cards, it's a big thing. So this is obviously Dustin's last walkout,
Yeah, that's sick, man.
but the cool thing with custom cards, right, is it can be anything. So I've got a customer who has a set of horror cards. He's got Chucky, Jason, Freddy Krueger. He's got a whole set of 8. So what I did was I made some custom horror videos that go along with it. So
Yeah,
he can tap them and it'll have a custom video rather than just pulling up a scene from the movie. It has an actual custom edit to it, which with just being me, you know how long editing takes in anything, even if it's just a minute and a half clip, takes at least an hour or two. So I've slowed down with the custom edits now that I've gotten a little bit busier and we're doing
right.
card shows and I'm trying to prep for that. But that is definitely a component that could also
Yeah.
integrate down the line. It's where we offer custom videos and stuff.
Yeah, that's great, man. I mean, it's such a unique thing that you're doing. And we were talking a little bit off air. Do you want to kind of take me through like you looking for this product and knowing that it's not there, and then you meeting even with like UFC Collectibles, which is, a huge person in the space, and kind of tell us like I guess where the company is going, and then like how recently did you start?
So we started in August is when I got the first 3D printer. So super recent. And I kind of just started out on social media posting and stuff. And what I was doing was kind of going on any UFC card page that I could kind of scroll past if they were displaying cards. Hey man, those look awesome in a TapScan frame or something along those lines. And I just so happened to scroll past a UFC Collectibles like sponsored ad, and it was I think either a Diego, um, like 8x10 with like a canvas piece or something like that. And the comments in their social media were just kind of lackluster. There wasn't any kind of like hype comments like, ah, that's cool. So I just jokingly put like, hey, we've got what real collectors wants. DM us. And like 2 hours later, they actually DM'd us. We set up a meeting to go over kind of what we were doing. Had a pretty good meeting. Haven't heard anything back yet, but I'm hopeful that once we get kind of a little bit further in our journey,
Right.
that we'll definitely link up and do a deal and get a
Man,
partnership going. Because I think with the way that they do their cards and different behind the scenes stuff, I think you could easily make some really cool collectible frames to go along with your cards.
for sure. Yeah, so you're only been doing this for like 3 months, right? So
Yeah,
August,
yeah,
September.
yeah.
So this is incredible that you've been able to come up with all of these ideas and manufacturing, and have a product that you sent to me already, and like proof of concept, and it's working. um I guess the question for me is like, what kind of scale are we looking at? Are you trying to do this and keep it small, or do you want to be like the next huge thing? Where do you see this company, and where do you see yourself
I,
in 5 years?
I want you to go on fanatics.com and be able to order tap scan frames for whatever you want. Um, Within the next 2 years, I hope to have a fully completed app. I just quit my job last Wednesday, so I am fully in.
Congratulations.
Um, we'll see, we'll see,
Yeah, I
but
bet that's scary, but that's cool to commit that much to
it
what
is.
you believe in.
Yeah, so we've got our first card show November 8th. If you're in the South Carolina area, it's right in Columbia. It's the Wicked Expo and Collectibles Expo. We've got a table. We're going to do some demos and kind of been pumping out production for that. The biggest thing is we started with one printer, and then a week or two into it, we're like, okay, these are actually kind of moving on the Facebook groups and stuff. Let's get a second. My wife's been helping me out with every part of this. She's instrumental. While I was at work, she would be taking stuff off the printers, resetting, hitting the next prints, and just keeping the line going. But so we went from one printer, and then two, and then now we're up to five.
The whole house is going to
So
be just printers soon.
it's it's just the like I've got my upstairs living room literally into and you can actually see
Yeah,
it in that Instagram video. But it's just kind of taken over. It might have to move to the garage fairly soon,
yeah.
especially if we do some more card shows and stuff. Because obviously I can print to order for everything else online, but having physical stock and going to the card shows is kind of this big push. But yeah, man, it's been really cool to. I've got ADHD, so sometimes when things get locked in, we lock in for a while and we figure it out until we find the next step. So that's kind of how it's gone. We've went from idea to researching and figuring out there is nothing else like this, to filing my own patents.
Okay,
So
cool.
we
That
are
that
patent
so,
pen.
so yeah, that
We
was
are
a
patent
question that
pending.
I was going to have. Okay.
Yep.
And what's
So
that
we're patent
process
pending.
like? What does that even mean? Does that mean no one else can replicate what you've come up with right here?
Not
How important
not
is that?
really. So patent pending is basically saying that you have a patent application submitted. Essentially, that's all it means at the moment. The real kind of differentiator and what who gets the rights to it is basically when you filed and when you file the right now it's called the non or I'm sorry, a provisional patent, basically temporary. Um, Within a year, so within 12 months of when I filed the provisional, I have to file a non-provisional, which is basically a lot more detailed, a lot more broken down on exactly what the intellectual property is, and it kind of narrows down the scope way further. Long process, pretty expensive. But basically, what that means is with the temporary, the provisional patent, I have a date on file with the patent office saying this idea was filed this time. And then if anyone else comes and says after that 12-month period of say I don't file the non-provisional, they can come in and say, hey, we want to take that patent and file it on our behalf. So basically, I'm on the clock for like a 12-month span, and we'll get it done for sure. I
Nice, man.
I'm
Sounds like
confident.
big things coming.
We're hoping. So
Yeah, awesome, dude. I had another question that kind of I wanted to ask you and kind of pick your brain on. When it comes to like your favorite cards and how you display them and stuff, where do you see people displaying this? Do you see this being in like game rooms, or could people even like have this be connected to like actual family photos? Like you could make a legit like frame and have it be,
for sure.
like a family moment. So is that something that you could potentially expand to, or that you're going to do? What do you kind of think about that?
Yeah, so you said two things. The family kind of custom idea, which I mean they do exist, like normal picture frames. I don't know if NFC exists, but like digital picture frames, things
Okay.
like that.
Yeah, yeah.
But what I like is taking it and kind of merging the two. And we'll switch over to this. So this is actually my gift to my wife. It's a custom card and it's in a TapScan frame.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And when you scan this one, actually I think this one's on the top,
Oh,
goes to a
wow.
custom video that I edited up.
Yeah. Dude, I need to do that. That's actually great. My wife would love something like this.
And you can put clips, you can put a personal message to her, you can do whatever you want. And I mean, there's a pretty cool thing. So this was, you'll get to see some cool custom cards from a guy, LTX Customs. Shout him out because these were the first custom cards that I ever got, and they are my favorite. So this is my son. He wrestles, and we met Chris Weidman. He's in South Carolina. He goes to a lot of the wrestling tournaments, and we had him take a picture and make a custom card. And we've got a nice spot for Chris's signature when we see him next. But these are really cool for younger athletes or youth athletes because parents love to get pictures and custom
Right.
cards and different things. Well, now you can take that. I gotta remember where this one was because this is an old design. And if not, we can just link it real quick. There it is.
You gonna send them to Dagestan for 2 to 3 years or
2 or 3 years and forget. The wife won't let me. We've
You've
talked about
already
it.
already discussed it, huh? Yeah, so like there's the possibilities are endless. I really like the
Right.
one that you did with your wife because that would be a fun little thing to mess around with for me
Yeah.
personally. So that's pretty sick. As far as where people can order these, are these out to buy right now? It sounds like you're doing a lot of
Yeah.
just in-person sales at card shows through Facebook, things like that. Your website looks like it's ready to go. People can go there and order now.
Yep.
What
It
does that
is.
look like?
So I just finished up the final touches yesterday. Shopify, it goes to Shopify. So I've got the full website through Shopify, and you can place orders. I've got some bundles in there, and I think I've got a two, a four, and then I've got buy six, get two free, or buy 10, get four free. So depending on how
Okay.
big your displays are, how big of a kind of wall space you want to cover, we've got some different bundle options. So save you some money on those. And then we've, like you said, we've got the black, geometric, and carbon fiber right now. I do plan on going to different colors. The problem I've kind of run into is unless you're buying for a very specific card, it's very hard to kind of match up a color that works with all cards.
Yeah. Because
Especially
the
like
because
some of
the
the
color of
refractives
the
and
shade of red could be slightly different, so it might be.
exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
But we did have like a one of my clients that does a lot of the custom stuff. So he actually got this one made for a Hulk Hogan card. So it's like a really good red that matched, and it's got like a geometric pattern on it.
Okay.
But so like if you do have custom stuff, DM us on Facebook is probably, or Instagram is the easiest way to do custom orders if you have some stuff. But as far as like our normal top loaders, I've got relics that I have to add to the website. I had to adjust the top loader depth so they could fit the relic top loaders. Those should be up within probably the next week or so. Working on Beckett because I've had a lot of requests for Beckett slabs. probably hit them all. CGC, SCG, well, all the CGs at this point. And then the only other request I think I've had that I don't have something for is the 130-point mags, which are also a little bit thicker. So we'll hit them all. But if you guys have something specific that's not on our website, just Instagram, Facebook, DM us, and we'll get some stuff done.
I love it. All right. So if you're out there and you want these, very new, you can order, support the small business, support AJ trying to get this up and running. And yeah, man, start tap scanning, baby. Do you have like a slogan? Do you have like a catchy
So
hook
it's
thing?
a little cut off on the
Yeah.
banner. This is actually the card show banner. I didn't have a background or anything. So it's a collect tap experience. So collect your
Nice.
cards, tap them, experience them. Don't just put them on a shelf to look at. They're great, but they really are pieces of art. And sports cards specifically, they have a history behind them,
Yep.
and they're all personal to you as a collector. And there's a reason you like that fighter. There's a reason you like that card specifically. And I think that's kind of what we try to tap into is what makes your personal experience to that card unique, and how are you going to show other people? Because a lot of the times, if you have friends that don't collect, they don't get it. You know, like they don't get the cards thing. And for the longest time, I didn't get it. Like I said, we're really new to collecting cards in general. UFC is just obviously what we know. So it was one of those things where we could be interested in what was in the packs, no matter who came out of it.
Right.
Um, but I think it really lets you show off your collection to people who might not understand.
Yep.
Where a lot of the times you show them, they're like, "Yeah, it's a shiny piece of cardboard. Cool, bro. Like that's awesome. Like, spend a lot." That's usually the only question.
Yeah. How
So
much
this is
is
a
it?
way.
That's what my little nephews ask. Whoa, how much is that one? It's like,
I mean, that's unfortunately part of the hobby at this point.
yeah,
It's how much is it worth, is normally the first question from 90%. But as you can see from the table display, we're chasing some rainbows here. We've got the 2025 Chrome set. I think we're missing like 13 cards, and we've
nice.
pulled all of them. So we're
Wow.
going for a straight pull fill, which the last 13 are, for whatever reason, they're not even big names. They're
Yeah.
just incredibly hard to get. But yeah, so we are definitely all about the collector experience, not just the collection itself.
All right. Collect, tap, experience. CTE. You guys need to get in with the
Oh,
NFL.
that's
Gotta get in with the
yeah, that's
NFL, dude.
I mean UFC fits.
Yeah. With the CTE, baby. We're getting it. We're collecting, we're tapping, and we're experiencing. All right. So we're
You're the
talking.
first person to put that together, I think.
Okay, so we're in the collectibles world. We're talking about collecting. What are your three favorite cards that you have right now? And I'll overlay the images as we're talking about them.
Okay, so my first favorite card is that card that I got made for my wife, is our anniversary card. That
Oh,
is
I love
our
it. I'm so
13th.
happy. She's gonna be so happy you said that, dude. Smart man right here.
That is
Smart man.
that is our 12-year anniversary kind of commemorative thing, and with us being so heavily into cards, and she's actually, funny enough, she's gotten a little bit more into it than I have, I think.
Nice.
Chasing rainbows and stuff. We'll get random eBay orders, and I'll be like, well, what is this? And she'll be like, just another card, you know. So this has been something really fun for us to do together, and this is by far my favorite card at the moment. As far as actual collectible cards, my favorite UFC cards are my Bruce Buffer
Oh,
2009. Here, let's go this way.
let me get you
Signature.
widescreen here.
There we go.
Oh,
And a
so that's in
Beckett
person,
8.
huh? Got the in person
It
auto on
was,
there.
yeah, it was. I didn't get it in person. I wish.
Hmm.
I got it secondhand, but my Bruce Buffer card, and then my wife's anniversary gift to me was my Joe Rogan, first
Nice.
Joe Rogan card.
That's
So I'm a
the
big
Rogan rookie.
I like the announcers. I like Bruce, obviously, because they're not going to lose their next fight.
Yeah.
So the value, right, is always going to be there, and they're always going to be a historic part. So those are some of my favorites as far as my UFC stuff.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, there's a small part of me that wants to that's like speculating on okay, when Buffer retires, right? is Joe A. Martinez gonna be that guy? Like, do we need a Joe A. Martinez rookie right now? Because they are like, nothing. They're like so low in value. And part of me wants to
I
just like
think
throw
it's
a little
because
dollars at it.
Buffer's still here, though.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think
for
it's
sure.
because Bruce is still doing it, and he's still every pay-per-view he is the face. And on the Apex cards and the ones that the fight nights, it doesn't have the same pop.
Yeah.
No offense to him, but Bruce Buffer is Bruce Buffer. And
Mhm.
until he is out of the picture, I don't think the announcer, the second, I'm sorry, and I forget his name. I don't think he's going to get his due. I'm a longtime Bruins fan. Rene Rancourt was sang the national anthem since the day I started watching the Bruins until I want to say it's probably been about 5, 6 years now. But when the new guy started, it was just like, this is
Get this
insane,
guy
man.
out of here.
Like it's
Yeah.
yeah, it's just there's something that it's the start of every fight.
Yeah.
You hear his voice to start every single historic fight you've probably ever watched, or at least a good majority of them. So there's something in your brain when you hear it's
Hmm.
time, and it's just like pure excitement. It doesn't matter if it's the biggest cans in the UFC. It's still exciting when Bruce says it until the fight starts, and then it's up in the air for them.
Yeah, I love it. Okay, so you mentioned earlier your wife's buying on eBay. You're getting packages shipped to the house, and you're like, "What is this card?" So, where do you guys mostly buy cards? Are you doing breaks? Are you ordering off eBay, singles through Facebook? Like, how are you buying stuff?
So we do. We're pretty active in the UFC Facebook card groups. We do a lot of trades and buys in there. eBay for sure. We started off ripping a lot, a lot, probably a little too much
Yep.
for kind of just getting the excitement of being new collectors and when base cards and inserts are still cool because you've never even
Yeah.
seen them before. So we definitely ripped a lot at first, but we're more in singles. Like I said, my wife's chasing a rainbow. I'm chasing the Wonder Boy rainbow, and then I haven't gotten into any breaks. I've tried to stay away
Yeah.
pretty
Smart
hard.
man. Smart man.
Yeah, so I've went over to Whatnot and just kind of watched some breaks,
Yeah.
and every time I watch the price of the thing and then wait and no card comes up and I'm like, oh yep, see that just doesn't do it for me. I'll take ripping a pack where I
Right.
actually get at least something in my hands at the end of it over paying for a break that potentially you get nothing out of.
Yeah, man, I think
So
that's a really, really smart way to look at it. A lot of us have ventured into Whatnot, and I personally I hated it. I'm not a gambler. I do not like losing money for nothing. I'm kind of a cheapskate. So I think I tried two, and I was like, I am never doing that again. Um, it is fun, and I'll go on there just to look at products, get a look at what the product looks like.
right,
You get to see cards
they're
sometimes,
breaking so much.
yeah, and I think that's kind of a value personally that I like from Whatnot, as well as interacting with people. Talking with other people that are breaking, and then talking with people in the chat is pretty fun. Well, one other thing I had was like, what would you like to see with, we have newer products. A lot of people are, have pros and cons between specific products that they're dropping or specific like product years. What would you like to see Tops and Fanatics change to potentially make products and the cards better, 2025 and beyond?
I'd love to see more kind of like tops now, but not just for the main events. I think those style of cards where it's a specific moment in that fighter's career, I think those hold a really cool nostalgia factor to them, and it'll hold up over the course of time. Diego Lopez looks cool on a midnight card, but him in a fighting stance
Right,
is always him in a fighting stance. And when somebody looks at that card, all they're going to see is, oh, that's Diego Lopez. When you get one of those tops now or an action shot, it has more significance because that was a moment in that fighter's career, which is why you're collecting them, right?
right.
It's what they've done throughout their career that makes them special to you. So I think seeing kind of some of those and maybe even autos on those are a little more not personal, but I think more intriguing to me
Yeah.
is the moments themselves,
Okay.
like
So
relics and stuff being
yeah,
with a picture of that fight is way
right.
cooler than a matte relic with a portrait picture. Just that's just kind of my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah. So you mentioned like the imagery and the moments. Would you do you like the tops now because it's so quick after the, or is it just the imagery in the moment? Because like they could take that and they could literally just start doing that in more products, like have a line,
I
they have moments, and is that kind of what the vibe you're talking about?
Yeah, I mean, I would say take some of your top fighters, not just the 1% top, and create some of those tops now moments types of cards and put
Yeah,
them in a normal set.
yeah.
Whereas like Chrome, you've got a lot of shots, and to be fair, I do not like horizontal cards. I understand as somebody that's done video and photography that to get that shot to look good, you can't put it in a vertical card sometimes, but I do hate horizontal cards. They
Is
as
that from the display aspect, or what specifically?
Yeah, I think so. I'm a very the whole reason I went with a
Yeah.
modular design so you can put everything up is that it's the same spacing, the same height, the same width off the wall, and you throw a horizontal card in and it messes up your measurements. And it doesn't let you stack two on top of them to get to the two side by side. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So it might be a little bit more biased as far as somebody who's been trying to figure out displays at this point for a while. But I do like the action shots more than the still shots. But I think you could take those action shots and rather than just somebody throwing a random punch, do the finishing. How did the fight finish? Is it a hand raise? But make it a little more meaningful, especially bigger moments for some of the smaller athletes. Somebody who their first fight, their first win, throw that on a card rather than just their first auto or their first title defense or first title win. I think a first win would be pretty cool.
Yeah. No, it seems so common sense, right? Like we're collecting. There's a myriad of reasons why you collect, but like you're saying, the history and the moments behind the images and the card is always a huge aspect that like everyone can agree like that's a huge reason why we collect. So it is always interesting that we get these products, and majority of them are behind the stage type shots, or not necessarily action. It does seem like we should almost get one either insert set or one auto line where it should be a moment specific in every single
Right.
product. And if they did that, at least we could like, check the box of having at least one insert, one base, set, or one like auto set that I think a lot of people would be happy with. And we're getting Stadium Club coming up, dude, and I think that is going to be full of what we're talking about right now. So I am very hyped about that, as well as potentially the price tag could be pretty alluring and is kind of a lower end buy-in, which I think
Hmm.
a lot of people are going to appreciate.
Yeah, no, I ended up getting a few of Finest because it was a little bit lower for hobby boxes.
Yep.
So I'm looking forward. What's that? Another week or two?
Finest, yep, November 7th, and Stadium Club still question mark, dude. I don't know when that's coming out. They haven't really given us a concrete release date, but will definitely be exciting. And make sure to subscribe. Also, go and follow TapScan Collectibles if you haven't already. You need to be over there, check out the website, and maybe go buy something, dude. Maybe go spend a few dollars and collect, tap, and experience. CTE, baby, get that done. But thank you so much for coming on, AJ. Really insane product, and I cannot wait to see where you take this in the future. And it's only been 3 or 4 months, dude. Imagine what you're going to be like, where you're going to be in a year. Very exciting.
Uh, we are very excited and we appreciate you having us on. And go to tapscancollectibles.com. We're going to have all kinds of new stuff coming out. I'm working on some glove holders so you can mount those to the wall, trying to make them modular so they fit in with the. I'm kind of building an ecosystem,
Yeah,
if for lack of a better term.
we love the word
Um, so
ecosystem in design. Everyone likes that.
so something that's going to kind of let you show off all of your collectibles, not just cards at some point.
All right, AJ, thanks again for coming on. See you, everybody.
I appreciate you. Have a good one.